We live in a world ruled by tyranny, where knowledge is suppressed and ignorance is glorified. A world where propaganda and misinformation travel the airways at the speed of lies. But in the midst of the violence and chaos, a great awakening is taking place. And as the media empires continue to collapse, a new network is forming. A network of truth, a network of courage, a network of awareness. Peace and greetings. You are now tuned into the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, where we examine current events, politics, health, finance, and topics of cultural relevance in America and throughout the world, while bringing you insightful interviews with guests that will both educate and inspire you. And now, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, Aura the Informationalist.
My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like Aura, the informationalist.
Peace and greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world. This is Aura the Informationalist, and you're now tuned in to a live broadcast of the Network of Awareness. And happy to be here on this Testament Thursday. And boy, do I have a testimony for you about this hoovering. And of course, I'm joined by my guest co-host, Brother Ahban from the BOCC. And we are going to talk about episode 61 of season 5 called Hoovering. Desperation Affection, or should I say Desperation Manipulation. And I put affection, just got to change that. I don't know, it must have been a typo from the last episode. But yes, Desperation Manipulation. And I'm changing that right now, folks. This is part of the Narcissism Series, people. So we're going to go into this. And boy, do I got a story to tell about this one. And brothers and sisters, pay close attention to this one, because chances are you probably have experienced this at some point in a relationship from the past. Some of you that are listening to this broadcast might even be experiencing something like this now. But this hoovering process is a desperation manipulation. And we're going to discuss why it's even called hoovering. But as you can see in the artwork, if you're tuning into this live broadcast on Spreaker, I got the Hoover vacuum listed into the artwork. And that's where the term comes from. It's a vacuum. It's a vacuum that's meant to suck up, to suck the life out of you, to bring you back in, to suck you back into orbit, back into the narcissistic abuser's orbit. What is hoovering? Hoovering is a behavioral term used to describe a narcissist who uses emotional manipulation to lure their partner back into the toxic relationship which they have left. So we're going to get into that. Welcome to the Network of Awareness on this Testament Thursday. And we'll be right back, brothers and sisters.
You are now tuned in to the network of awareness.
Please just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Messiah. All praises to the Heavenly Father, our great Creator, Yahweh Elohim, and to the Heavenly Father, Son, Christ, Yahweh. Let's go. Welcome to the show, Brother Ahban. Most High Christ bless you, and shalom to you, brother.
Shalom, Most High Christ bless you. I hope you're doing well today, brother, and greetings to everybody listening now or in the future. And I hope this class that we're going to do today, right now, is going to help people understand what they deal with or what they themselves go into. So let's get it on.
Let's get it on. And listen, I'm feeling really good. I started feeling really good when I started reading the definition of what hoovering is. And I have to say that as I was reading it, this is where I gained a lot of my strength when leaving this last relationship that I was in, because it was quite comical too. And I'll talk about that. But the reason I feel so good is because this right here was a reminder that when I left and she tried to suck me back into her toxic orbit and pitiful life that I was a part of, unaware of that I was a part of this pitiful life. Give me 1 second. Something popped up on my screen here. I don't know why that popped up. Let me X out of there. A little Grammarly thing. It makes me realize how good I feel right now. And I really mean that. I feel really good. Really, really good. So many good things are happening through the grace of the Most High, as they were during this hoovering process, because the Most High already had revealed to me that I was dealing with a harlot with flattering lips. And you and I are going to do just to let the brothers and sisters know that tune into the Council on Christ Relations, we're going to do a spiritual fire and fellowship series on the show, and we're going to discuss this flattering lips, and we're going to have the Most High bring it out through the scriptures, and we're just going to bring it out and give some insight on that, and let the scriptures do all the talking when it comes to flattering lips, and when it comes to just that arrogancy, the power of the tongue, and all these things that a lot of these narcissists have, this wicked, powerful tongue that they have that they use to manipulate and to deceive. And hoovering is probably the mecca of this desperation manipulation when it comes to manipulation, because everything they do is manipulation, everything. But this one is when you leave them and they suck you back in. Now, what's interesting is that I hope that people really pay attention to this, because what's interesting about this is a very successful tactic. Out of all the tactics they use, this is one of the more successful ones. Reason being is because usually if you are an empathetic person, you are going to get sucked up into this unless you've been educated, unless you understand what this is all about. Unfortunately, many of us don't know what this is about at all. We don't know what this is about. So what happens is when these tactics are used, we wind up getting sucked back in. And before I get into my situation and what happened, so I can give some education on this, let's get a better understanding of what this hoovering is all about, shall we? Brother Bob.
Sounds like a plan.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been hoovered?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so somebody tried to suck you back in after you told them, I'm done.
Well, it was just basically a, mean treatment and treatment that would push you away, and then, trying to redeem themselves and be nice to draw you back in. It was like a constant cycle. And one of the things about the hoovering is, as we go on, we're going to find out that the person just wants you to think about them, whether it's negative or positive. They just want to be in your thoughts, So, and they are always committing antics and doing little things to, be the center of attention, and when they see you moving away or see you at peace or whatever, they have to come and disturb that. And that has happened to me quite often.
Well, here are some examples of hoovering. Threatening suicide if you don't do what they want you to do, which is take them back. I got a story for that as well. Stating they will come to your house if you don't respond to their text right away. Lavishing you with gifts. Lying about your behavior to get your attention. Becoming overly apologetic and trying to promise changed behavior. Why do narcissistic hoovering, what does narcissistic hoovering look like? They will use hoovering to manipulate you back into a relationship. For example, they may promise to change, threaten you with self-harm or suicide, or proclaim their love for you heavily, even though they have struggled to show their feelings before. And this is the big telltale sign, because they usually struggle, or what they do is they limit on how to show you any feelings because they really don't have any true feelings. But then all of a sudden, when you leave them and they start to hoover you, it starts pouring out in a way that it is somewhat like it leaves you in awe, where if you're not aware of this, once again, you could be sucked up in very quickly. And I'm going to talk about this because I was dealing with a well-seasoned narcissist, right? I was dealing with a narcissist that was 43 years old, going on 44 now. Or should I say, yeah, she's now 44. But at the time, she was 43. And I could tell you that at 43 years old, she was a very seasoned narc. And this type of behavior, she did it very well. Unfortunately for her, she was dealing with someone like myself who was well aware at this point already on what was going on. How do you know if you're being hoovered? Some of the biggest signs of hoovering are threats of self-harm. A manipulative ex will attempt to force to respond by saying they're going to hurt themselves unless you answer their texts or calls. They may even threaten to kill themselves. What is the hoovering stage of a narcissist? It's coined after the Hoover vacuum. Hoovering is a calculating scheme commonly used by narcissists to suck you up into orbit and get you back into their life. It's an energetically draining dynamic that perpetuates a toxic pattern of idealization, devaluation, and discardment. Oof. This is so on point right here, man. So on point. The abuser may shower their victim with gifts, compliments, promises, demonstrations of love, and acts of affection in order to win back the victim's trust or faith, and therefore maintain the status quo. Hoovering is one of the key components of an abusive cycle. And just on a side note, brother, if you can, you don't have to mute yourself, because what's happening is, because your microphone is on the table, we're hearing all those clicks in the audio. So you don't need to, no, it's all good. You don't need to mute yourself. Once you get that mic boom on, that'll be easier to deal with. Your thoughts, brother, chime in whenever you feel like, and, speak your piece.
Well, I was looking at a couple of things this morning, and one of them was the definition of sincerity, which means that you're being sincere. And when you're being sincere, it means that you're free of dissimulation or being honest. You're free from impurities, and you're marked by genuineness, meaning you're true. And a lot of times people that have to be the center of attention, that they need you focused on them all the time, they're not genuine, honest, or true. And a lot of times I had looked up what hoovering is too, because when you first mentioned it to me yesterday, I was like, what is he talking about? Is he talking about a gold digger or something, trying to vacuum all the money out of somebody's pocket, or, what's going on? So it's, what I was reading in here in the thing that I pulled up, it says a person hoovers when they want attention, even if that attention is negative. For example, someone might become clingy or engage in subtle revenge tactics as a way to hoover or suck their partners or other people they're afraid of losing back to them. In short, when a person hoovers, they try to find ways to lure someone back into their lives with a variety of tactics. Like you said, the gift giving and stuff like that. but it's all based on an intense desire for attention and validation. So, when people have this need to be the center of attention, it can really wreak havoc on the people around them. It goes from being overly dramatic and emotional, and just it's a very manipulative thing. And it's something that we should recognize. It's not, oh, well, he's just that way or she's just that way. It's actually, they're not dealing right. It's what they call a personality disorder, but it's actually not having brotherly love. It's treating people evil.
Right, I agree. Hey, shalom to Brother Ash out in the UK. Shalom to all the brothers out in the UK and other countries that are tuning into this live broadcast. And peace and greetings. And shalom to all the brothers and sisters out in the United States of America that have the opportunity to tune in this morning or early this morning. Like my brother Julio out in California, they'll be tuning in sometimes while he's working out bright and early at 5 a.m. So many things to cover with this. Looking for a supply of validation, Brother Ash wrote. Very true, brother. They're always looking for that supply of validation. You are their never-ending supply of validation when you're unaware of this manipulation that's going on. When you're unaware of this wickedness that you're very much a part of, that you're very much engaged in unknowingly until you wake up. And I'm going to talk about that. Now, how do you resist a narcissist hoover? Well, here are some general best ways to cope with hoovering, okay, to follow these guidelines. Number one, don't let your boundaries be changed or broken during the hoovering phase. I'm a testament to this, and I'm going to tell this, testimony. Number two, if you put safeguards or consequences in place due to the narcissist's bad decision, you need to keep those in place, even and especially during the hoovering. Facts. Now, this is a term that I found out just in the recent past. I would say I found out this term at the end of last year. I learned what this is all about, not even knowing that this is what I was doing. Because as much research as I did last year about narcissism, and I was obsessively researching this, bro, for like 3 months straight. Every single day, I must have spent a good 4 hours of my day, sometimes even more, because I would go back to it at night.
Wow.
Researching this because of the traumatic experience that I had. It was horrible, right? Because I've already spoken about some of the things I endured dealing with this wicked demon that I was dealing with. So the term that I'm talking about is called gray rocking. And this is people, make sure you pay attention to this, write this down, look it up for yourself, and really, really take this in right now, because this is going to be one of the powers that you have that the Most High can fill you up with and strengthen you with is by doing this. And when you learn how to do this can't even just help you with a narcissist, but this can just help you to deal with people in life. It's called gray rocking. Gray rocking, or the gray rock method, is a tactic some people use when dealing with abusive or manipulative behavior. It involves become as uninteresting and unengaged as possible so that the other person loses interest. Some people anecdotally report that it reduces conflict and abuse. Facts. I'm going to tell you where this is very successful: when you get pulled over by the police. This is a tactic that I used since I was in my mid-30s. Being a person of so-called color, like myself, being a person who has had to endure so-called racial or racist abuse from a kid to a grown-ass man. This is a method that I developed, learning how to deal with these situations with the police, where when I would get pulled over, I would literally turn stone cold, like a zombie, like no emotion, just like if I was under a hypnosis, just a blank stare. And I remember this one time in one of the most racist states in the U.S., which was New Jersey, where I had a lot of racist encounters with the state troopers and with the police out there. And I never forget, this police officer pulled me over for me making a left turn into a road that you can only make a right turn into from the other side of the street. But I wound up making a left, I was in the wrong. And when he pulled me over, and he asked for my license license and registration, I had this blank stare on me and I wasn't saying much. So what did he do? You know, that tactic that the police officers use. He was like, oh, you seem to be in a bad mood, or you seem to have like an attitude and something like that. He said something like, I'm paraphrasing, but so I looked at him, you know, because I was answering all his questions. I wasn't giving him no attitude. I was just cold. I was just like damn near almost lifeless. And I guess he was trying to, you know what they do, brother. They try to instigate a lot of these police officers, especially, you know, the ones that have this ego problem. They try to bait you into, you know, a penis swinging contest to see if they can get a rouse out of you. So that way they can try to, you know, tell you, get out the car. You know, now you're being a tough guy. Cause that was one of the things. Oh, you a tough guy, blah, blah, blah. Or they used to call me lawyer boy. You know what I'm saying? Cause I knew my rights, or at least the rights that I thought I had as a citizen. But what happened was he was like, you know, you seem to have an attitude or whatever. And I said, listen, I said, whatever. I said, I'm feeling really great today. I said, I'm about to go pick up my daughter that I haven't seen in 2 weeks. And I said, and you know, the Most High, I said something like the Most High has blessed me with, I forgot how I said it, but I was like, the Most High has blessed me. I feel really good. I'm happy. I said, whatever you're getting from me, you're misconstruing, because I feel great right now. I said, I know I made a wrong turn. So if you want to issue me a ticket, that's perfectly fine, officer, you know, or I think I said, sir. And I said, so I don't know where this is coming from. And I left it at that and I went quiet again. So he looked at me like, I'm not, you know, like I can't get this dude. So he's like, that's fine. All right. Just be careful next time and drive safe and make sure that you don't turn there again. All right. I was like, yeah, sure. Thank you. You have a great day. He's like, fine. And he walked away all pissed off because he couldn't get a route. He was kind of shocked too. So especially for you brothers, man, you brothers that are melanated, don't let these cops get the best of you. Just be cold. Use the gray rocking method. It works very, very well. It diffuses that antagonistic spirit that some cops will approach you with. All right. Anything you want to add on to that, brother, about gray rocking?
Nah, bro. That was well put.
All praises, bro. So how do narcissists react to hoovering? If possible, try not to respond at all. Silence can sometimes be the most powerful response when faced with such manipulative tactics. Acknowledge what is happening, but do not engage any further. Stay assertive and firm in your decision if it is one that you've already made. All right. So gray rocking is very important, man. Don't get sucked up into this hoovering process whatsoever. So, and what I want to do is I want to look at some examples of what this hoovering looks like. And then we'll go into some situations that I've personally experienced, and as well as Brother Ahban. So like we mentioned, this hoovering, dealing with this hoovering process, if you're unaware of it, is can be very emotionally draining. All right. And we're going to talk about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up some of the things here as far as some examples of hoovering that we brought out. All right. So 10 signs of hoovering. Here we go. They seem apologetic. So when the hoovering process starts, they're going to be very apologetic. Somebody who was never apologetic before throughout the whole entire relationship, all of a sudden, miraculously, it's like they become super apologetic. They become a superhero of apology, whether male or female. It says hoovering may look excessive, over the top apologies. You can typically distinguish an inauthentic apology from a real one by a few words. For example, an inauthentic apology sounds like, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry, but, or I'm sorry. If inauthentic apologies can also come across as grandiose and cluttered. And it's funny because this is the same type of apology that I gave to a narcissist when they wanted me to apologize to them for something I didn't even do after not speaking to them for over 2 months. And this is exactly how I apologize. I said, hey, I'm sorry if you think I said this and that, but if that's what you feel, I'm sorry, and let's keep it moving. So I basically gave them a narcissistic apology. And this is why I was saying yesterday, don't do that. that. Don't apologize for things that you haven't done to somebody. It just is pointless, no matter how pissed off they are, because they're just trying to manipulate a situation. You got to remember something. These people that are narcissistic, brothers and sisters, these people come from a deep, and I mean deep, sense of insecurity. They are not comfortable in their skin, and you can hear it when they talk, the way they behave, especially. They can't even stay still. These people are very depressed. They're very, very sad on the inside. That's why I pity a narcissist. I really do, because they're miserable people, man. And unfortunately, misery loves company, right, brother?
Oh, yeah, sure does.
Anything you want to add to number one as we go from these different steps or these different examples, I mean?
Yeah, the I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry that you're wrong is basically what they're saying. Or, that's unfortunate that you feel that way, but I'm not going to change. That's all it is, and a lot of times, we encounter these type of attitudes, and we just think, oh, well, they're just ticked off or surprised or anything, or it's a self-defense mechanism, when actually it's the way they are. That's why when you look at the scriptures, it talks about proving a friend. Be patient. Don't be hasty to credit people. And, like you said a while back, let a friend earn their position in your life. Don't be hasty to credit them. And sometimes when we are hasty to give people credit, that ends up setting ourselves up to be manipulated by people with these personality types,
Yes, absolutely. And we got another comment in the chat room by Brother Richie. Shalom to Brother Lamad out in New York. He wrote Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So true. So true.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about. That's what that officer from New Jersey was trying to get me to. He was trying to stir up anger in me. But he was very unsuccessful, because I turned him away with a lot of soft answers. A lot of soft answers that had nothing in it. No emotion, no nothing. It was gray rocking on steroids. But shout outs to Brother Lamar. Glad that you've been able to make it. I know you got a busy schedule, brother, so thank you. This next example, okay, this next one is going to be a really good one, because all these examples are good, but this next one is good because this one could be very misleading, because you think they care and they're so passionate and love you so much that this is the reason why they're doing this. So number two is they contact you randomly. People who Hoover may repeatedly come in and out of your life. One moment they seem to accept that the relationship is over, but just as it feels like things are healing, they come back into your world again. They might use nostalgia as a weapon, reaching out with statements like, I was driving and heard this song on the radio and it made me think of you. Hope you're doing well. This is like, this is textbook 101 for the narc, because this is all of what I experienced, bro. And I'm gonna tell my story in a little bit, but boy, this is it. And depending on where you are at in your boundary setting, or just where you're at spiritually, mentally, emotionally, this might have a big effect on you. And you might be like, oh yeah, what song was you listening to? Baby, I'm back. I mean, whatever it is, don't get caught up in this, because this is a tactic. People, the reason why I'm even doing these shows or this whole entire narcissism series, because this is a level of wickedness that can destroy your life. You know how many people's lives have been destroyed by a narcissist? Do you know how many people have actually killed themselves over a narcissistic abuse? How many people right now that are still physically alive but spiritually dead because of a narcissist? They're just dead person walking. That's the whole shell of what you used to be. And that's why I was called a unicorn, because I got out of it, because that could have happened to me. I could have been in this relationship to this present day, not knowing where the hell I came from or what I was doing from day to day, just literally being miserable and, holding on to this person's every word on how I viewed myself. And this happens to a lot of people where they get destroyed. That's why it's so important, people. Because some people have asked me like, oh, you really into this narcissism thing? I'm like, but you don't understand. This is serious stuff. This is not to be taken lightly. This is spiritual warfare. And unfortunately, right now, you got a lot of demons running amok. You got a lot of principalities out here that are attaching their tentacles into other people beings that have very little light in them, that are not filling their spirit up with the Most High, with that, they don't have that Holy Spirit on them. They're really lost in the sauce, and they're being destroyed by this abuse and behavior that is working through other people that they're dealing with. So this is to be taken very seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 3, they send you gifts. Giving gifts can also be an example of hoovering. Sometimes it's a way for people to love bomb you, like we discussed yesterday about the gifting others back into their lives. These gifts may be a way to apologize for problematic behavior, but the kind gestures that often stop once a person gets what they want. She did this a little bit with me, my ex, but she did it a lot in the beginning where it didn't really warrant it, but she was just laying down the love bombing, right? Like I was talking about. And one of the things that she used to do a lot that was a big problem, that she would apologize and then just do it again. Like literally say, I'm not going to do this no more. I'm going to work on it. Always cutting me off while talking. I mean, all the time, bro. To the point where I was just like, you're not going to stop this, are you? She's like, no, I'm working on it. I'm like, nah, you're not. Like, you just want to just talk all the time. You want to cut me off. I had this situation just recently, you know, I'm not going to go into the details, but I just had this situation recently where every time I try to explain myself, and I'm glad I have witnesses, the person would just cut me off again. And I let this person talk for damn near 15 minutes straight without interrupting not one time. And the moment I started talking, not even 30 seconds into my speech, and to explain my side of things, boom, the person was cutting me off right away. That's how you know you're dealing with a narcissist. A narcissist got demons on them, people. I know a lot of people are listening to this and they're like, no, this is just some psychological personality disorder. Yes, that is part of it, but where is it really coming from? It's coming from those principalities that are attached to them. It's coming from that wickedness that they have latched onto them that they can't get rid of. Why? Because their behavior is warranting these principalities, these demonic presences to be in their life, because that's behavior that they're engaged in is giving energy to these demonic entities. Plain and simple. And we're going to talk about this on the Spiritual Fire and Fellowship series on the Council on Christ Relations. All right, which Brother Ahban and I are going to do a live show tomorrow on the Council on Christ Relations about this, because this is some serious stuff. And the scriptures points it out in multiple books about this. Now, number 4, they gaslight you. Now, this is what we're going to discuss tomorrow. This is the finale. All right. Tomorrow live, the finale is I haven't come up with a title yet, but it's going to be about gaslighting. Now, brothers and sisters that listen to the show, you already know that I did several shows about gaslighting. But we're going to go a little bit more in depth, and this is going to be a reminder, so to speak. But it's going to be the finale to this series for Narcissism series of this week. Gaslighting is a common hoovering tactic. Gaslighting can sound like, I just wanted to check up on you. I know you're having a hard time, even when you aren't. Or I know things got out of hand for both of us, even when they didn't. Over time, gaslighting can make you question your reality. Oh, that happened to me heavily. Thus complicating your relationship even further. Unfortunately, your feelings seem invalid. You may be even more susceptible to emotional abuse. Any comments? Anything you want to add to that?
Well, yes. And also starting out with what you were talking about, how, people don't understand that these things are demons, and, they call them psychological personality disorders. So psychological is like the mind, the psyche, logical, right? Disorder, meaning that it's out of order, meaning that your mind and your spirit is out of order, meaning you got an evil spirit, which is a demon. Okay. And this making up things to distort a person's reality, to try to convince them that they're wrong for reacting a certain way to your evil. it's just, you trying to justify yourself basically, and putting this argument out there that is just evil. It's manipulative, and we're not supposed to be out here manipulating each other. We're supposed to be encouraging each other to be honest and pure and sincere. And when we see people that aren't being sincere, especially when they're using these tactics, we have to look at that and recognize, that was it.
Yeah, very true. Number 5, they smear your reputation. Now, this is something that I've talked about a lot that my ex was doing to me before we even broke up or before I dumped her like a bad habit. So it says, smearing can include spreading lies and making false accusations about a person's behavior. Someone who is hoovering does this as an attempt to gain attention and get other people to empathize with them. She did this heavy. Very well-seasoned narcissists do this. This is one of their go-tos because they want people to come against you. I've seen it happen within families, friendships, work environments. I've seen it happen with my brother in corrections. I'm pretty sure Brother Lamont has stories for days. This was done to Brother Lamont because he was in the Crime and Punishment documentary, and they allude to that throughout the documentary and how you got other officers that were spreading lies about these people that stood up for what was righteous and what was right and didn't stick to the status quo mentality of just going with the same old bullshit and violating honest people's lives out in the streets. So this is a big one here. Unfortunately, it can feel like a lose-lose situation. Facts. If you ignore these efforts, they may get worse. Likewise, if you engage, the other person will often double down on their attempts. So this is a big one, people. Just remember that they're going to go after your reputation. They're going to but you know what I say? Leave it up to the Most High to deal with this because it's a win-win or lose-lose situation either way. Like it's a win-win for them and a lose-lose for you on both sides. So don't even really engage because all you're going to be doing is giving them energy, giving them that supply that they want. And I will say this, okay, because this happened to me with that dude from that platform when he got me tribally gaslighted and people were threatening my life and talking about that, that they was going to do this to me and all this other shit. Just let it be, people, because those people that are co-signing this bullshit for them to smear your reputation, they wasn't worth it to begin with. So let them be. That's the Most High letting you know who's who. That's the Most High saying this person ain't good. This person ain't good. This one needs to repent. They all need to repent. And if they don't repent, that's their problem, not your problem. Like my boy Billy Izzy, all right? Shout outs to Billy Izzy out in New York. Always tells me it's not a you problem. It's a them problem. They're the problem. Don't try to make it your problem because it's theirs. So let that smear campaign that the narcissists are putting on you, let it be. Let it be. It is what it is at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that?
Oh, yeah. And not only will they smear you, they can also smear your friends and, try to make your friends look bad so they can isolate you. Or when they do that, they'll smear your friends to you. And then now you're acting a certain way towards other people that they've smeared. And guess what? Triangulation.
Right.
Now they just sitting back watching. And
right.
Now and by that, they know they got you. Or when they see you slipping away and they want to get back, they'll take and smear not only you, but your friends that aren't really doing anything bad to you. They're being supportive, and they'll take and have other people come at all of you, which is again, triangulation. And now they have somebody on their side to help try to convince you that you should leave the support of your friends. And that's that triangulation. So these things all intertwine, and it's just the weaponry that this evil mindset will give a person when they know that they're losing control or that you're breaking away and you're getting tired of their manipulation. And it's really sad because, like you said, these people are insecure and depressed, and they cannot, perform alone and be on their own. They need somebody to give them attention, and they need approval, and they need to be able to blame somebody as well, because they want the attention, they want the adoration, they want the approval, but they don't want the responsibility. They want that lack of accountability because
all the time.
Exactly. And that's just the way it works. So they'll go about things to manipulate and set up things to cater to them. Like we said earlier, they want you thinking about them, whether it's good thoughts or bad. They will take you off on purpose and push you away, and then come back and pull you back. Come back around and pull you back, and use these tactics to pull you back in. It's a cycle of abuse.
Oh boy. I remember that dude, Federico, that I talked about from his platform, that brother that, is telling that Judah's going to have their own planet. I remember when he started gaslighting me, the first thing he started doing was like the brother that he used as a scapegoat to say that I was talking shit about. He was like, yeah, bro, like we got to do this music together. And I'm working on some things to get you on these tracks so we could put music out. Then he talked about this other brother and sister as a podcast and how good they are. It's like, wow, that's interesting, bro. Like, you never mentioned these people before. They've been following you for years. You never try to work on things with them for years. For years, you never try to do anything with them. Now, all of a sudden, you want to do so much for them. And it was all part of that manipulation tactic to get people to come against me. And it was so phony, bro, and so see-through. But like I mentioned before, those people that gravitate to that type of nonsense, let them be. They'll either find out and repent, or they won't.
Yeah, one thing too is sometimes it won't be a total smear. It'll just be belittling.
Yes.
Yes. Like, yeah, I work with these people, or I do stuff over here, or this person, this and that, because it's better than you.
Right.
Then now,
he did that.
Since you're in that abuse cycle, you're like, well, what can I do to be better? Or how can I help? Or, what would make me more acceptable? And they got you, if there's a problem that I really did, then explain to me the problem and why I'm not doing right, and give me the details, explain it to me, why I'm not. And a lot of times they will have that plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and they'll be able to explain it to you, but you have to be aware and, praying to the Most High through Christ that, listen, make sure that, take this evil away from me, and keep, like it says in the Lord's Prayer, lead me not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, So these are things that the Most High can pull you out of, as we both know, but a lot of times it'll be slight. It'll be low key. It won't be somebody yelling this stuff in your face. It'll be real low key, but it's very, very manipulative. Oh my goodness. Too early in the morning, bro. Very manipulative and very subtle. That was it.
Well said. So number 6, they tell you how much they love you. Hoovering often includes extreme proclamations of love. You're their soulmate. You're the only one who truly understands them. Yeah, that was definitely one that was said to me a lot during the hoovering process. They can't imagine being without anybody else. Yeah, that's another one. Of course, they love bombing statements may feel good, but they're also highly manipulative. If you still haven't gotten over the other person, they can lure you right back in. And boy, this was done to me, but they didn't lure me back in. I found it to be comical. My thing was, I used to close my eyes when she was looking at me and saying these things. I would just close my eyes and take a deep breath. I go, because I didn't want to laugh. I didn't want to get upset. And I knew that I had to keep calm because I knew I was getting bullshitted, but I couldn't respond to it. So I would just close my eyes and take a deep breath and try not to laugh or smirk. And I suggest that you brothers and sisters do that when engaged in this type of hoovering. Just close your eyes. Bring yourself to a peaceful place. Take a deep breath. Don't engage. Stay in that frequency of gray rocking. Do not disengage from your gray spray rock at all throughout the whole entire process, because that'll be a big mistake, you know? Because let's just keep it real. These people are pathetic, man. They're very pitiful in their behavior. And just like Brother Ash wrote, you know, a narcissist can destroy a relationship. He really can. I mean, a family. I know that for a fact. My sister's a narcissist, big time. My sister brings a lot of wickedness into our family. That's why my brothers and me and my mom, they don't talk to her. The only person who talks to her is my father, because she be love bombing my father like no other. And my father's like a real simple dude, so he just deals with it. You know, he lets it be. My father doesn't like a lot of conflict and stuff, so he's just like happy-go-lucky most of the time. But her and my mother, whew, that's a whole nother story, you know. But these people are sad, people. These people are sad, you know. Let's give them the sad trombone. Number 8.
You got a hell of an arsenal, bro.
Number 7, actually. Hoovering can be subtle. They may contact you at specific times, like on your birthday or anniversary. They might also be tracking you, which means they can contact you when you get a new job or move. This type of communication may trick you in believing they still really care about you and your well-being. I'll put it to you like this. I know for a fact that my ex is probably listening to this broadcast under a different account. I guarantee you that she is following me on Instagram and on TikTok under a different account. I know she is, bro. I know she is. I can feel it. The only thing is, I can't tell you which account it is because, you know, I got thousands of people following me. But I know that one of those people is her, because that's what they do. They'll go under a different account and they'll be tracking you, bro. Tracking you like no other. So yeah. And then what happens too is when you really are feeling good, and this is where this is spiritual warfare, because this is how Satan creeps in. When you really doing well, you moved on, you got your new relationship. You might have a man that looks better than them, or, you know, obviously is a better person than them, and they see this, they're gonna get upset. Same thing with the woman. Like, you're a dude and you got yourself a beautiful woman, treats you right, you know, sister in the faith, you know, which maybe one day might happen for me. I might get a sister in this faith that is not a narc and start having a meaningful, fruitful relationship. She might want to pop back in after, you know, 5 years, 3 years, a year, 2 years. And that's something that I'm always prepared for, because if that happens, you know, all I'm going to say is like, hey, how you doing? Then it's going to be followed up by... And then I'm going to get in my car and I'm out. Bye-bye. And plus, my car, by the way, my car is not going to sound like that. It's like an old jalopy.
Yeah, it sounds like a Volkswagen 2.0 liter 4-cylinder there.
Yeah, but like, because listen, when they come around, it's like, this is what you hear. I'm out, bro. As soon as I hear that, I'm like, oh, it's about to pour. Let me get out of here. This black cloud is coming. That's what a narcissist is, bro. Like, and I'm already prepared for this. Like, I don't think about this woman at all. Like, this, as I'm explaining about her, this is the only time I'm even thinking about the situation. But to think about missing her and, no, it's like, I'm a little disgusted with myself. That's what I battle with. I'm a little embarrassed that I even got with this person, that I even gave them the benefit of the doubt, because I'm better than that, you know? But I'm grateful that I had to go through this experience, because it strengthened me in the sense that I was the type of person that I would never set boundaries with people. Now I do. Now I know you have to have boundaries. So let's go to number 8. They talk through other people to get to you. Now, this is something she really couldn't do with me much, because a lot of the people that we were associated with together, this dude, you know, got them to turn against us. So there wasn't many people. And plus, I didn't allow her to get close to my friends. Like, she wanted to always do coaching sessions with Billy, but I never allowed it. I only did one, and we did it together. But Billy already knew. He was like, bro, this woman's no good. So number 8 is they talk to other people. So it says some people hoover non-directly. Some examples is they might go on and on about how much they miss you to a mutual friend with hopes that a friend, what does this say? That a friend realizes those feelings or relays those feelings to you. Or they might go on social media talking about how much they messed up or lost their true love, anticipating that you'll see and know it's about you. She got too many things going on to do that. She's got other dudes. See, because what she did is she just went to the other source of supply that she already had, which was a simp. Whoever that dude that was in the room, that was a simp. And that was her next source of supply to get her, her validation and energy from. And that's what some of them do. But most of the time, you won't be in a situation like I was. It's very rare where you actually leave them. They actually leave you and go to the other source of supply. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, a lot of times, if you're in a friendship or a relationship, you should be talking directly to that person, not through others. So that is, that opens up the window for misinterpretation and deceit and just all kind of chaos. And when you see something like that, it should raise a red flag. That was it.
Right. And that's why brothers and sisters are urged that if these things are not working, to seek counsel. So that's when it's best to bring seasoned, experienced individuals into the situation that can provide some type of guidance and counsel to the current crisis at hand. Number 9, speaking of crisis, they vein a crisis. Of all the hoovering tactics, veining a crisis can be one of the most challenging. Some people will exaggerate or completely make up crises to get attention. Oh boy, do I know this all too well recently. The crises can include anything from medical emergencies to family deaths to mental health stressors that they're battling, that their situation will put all of your heartstrings and lure you back in. And that's something that was interesting because somebody had a hard time seeing me somewhere, which was like, really? After 2 months, you had a hard time seeing me somewhere? It was bothering you? It's like, get out of here, man. Number 10. They pretend everything is fine. Pretending nothing has changed is another common hoovering behavior. The person will act as if nothing has happened between you. They might just show up to your house or work like you two are still close. They may still call you their partner despite having broken up. This behavior forces you to call them out and initiate the next discussion. Let me tell you something. This happened to me, bro, where, remember I was talking about how I realized she was cheating on me?
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much told her, like, we're done. I was like, you're a hoe, okay? I was like, you're a dirty slut, and I'm done with you. I was like, I can only imagine how long this has been going on. And I said, listen, if I wind up having an STD, me and you are going to have a serious problem. Told her straight up. Because when I said this to her, she was like, what do you mean? I'm not doing nothing. You going crazy and blah, 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 right? The whole gaslighting thing where she was trying to make it look like this was a figment of my imagination. So mind you, this was in the morning that we had this conversation. I hang up with her. I'm done. I'm like, I already told her what I had to say. I'm done. Bro, do you know that she calls me up the next day and starts talking to me like nothing just happened? It was like,
yeah, we're still cool. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, it was just like, I'm looking at her like, cause she FaceTimed me, and she's just talking to me like it's just another day. Like this never happened. And they do this through texting too. This is why I hate texting, by the way. But I think texting is good to just update people, let them know, listen, I'm busy right now. I'll call you back. I got this going on, or I got a quick question to just send to you for you to give me an answer or response. Texting's great for that. But to have meaningful conversations, texting is not for that purpose. And you young people really need to stop doing that. Stop having meaningful conversations with each other that need to be either had in person or over the phone. None of this damn texting crap because it's so impersonal. But I remember this has happened with multiple women, not just with her, but she was the first real narcissist that I dealt with. Like there was a deep rooted narcissist. I've dealt with other narcissists before her, but nothing like this. Like she takes the cake. What they do is, like, let's say, for example, you send them a text and you ask them a question, they never answer the question in the text. And then they just keep texting you like if the question never even was presented to them. And I got to tell you from past experiences, bro, you want to talk about something that used to boil my blood, something that used to just piss me the hell off was that, bro. Oh,
that
man.
right there.
It's like, did you not just see the text that I wrote you? Like, you over here talking about bagels and orange juice and how sunny it is outside. And I just asked you a specific question and you just completely disregarded. Bro, I can't tell you how many times I dealt with that in the past, bro. It was so disgusting to deal with that type of behavior.
Yeah. It's amazing some of the stuff we go through sometimes, you know?
Have you ever dealt with that? Like just somebody acting like everything is cool after you just had this like breakup or, you know, anything where it was so serious and then they just act like nothing happened?
Yeah. You know, everything is cool. Everything is like it was. You know, showing up again or, you know, this is what I've done is very disrespectful, but I refuse to see it. And everything is just as normal as it was before I disrespected you,
right?
You know, because it doesn't matter what you do or how you feel. The only thing that matters is what's on my mind because I am so important. You know, the sun revolves around me, basically, you know, and, you know, it's other stuff like that. But the whole thing is that these things are wrong and we shouldn't treat people like this, you know?
And just on a side note, listen, people that have told me that these shows are really helping them in understanding things, sometimes this show might not be good enough. Sometimes you might need to seek therapy, okay? Because there's some of you out here that have been experiencing this abuse for years. And listening to the network of awareness, as good as it may be, it's not going to help you long term. You might need to get consistent therapy to overcome this traumatic abuse that you've experienced or are currently experiencing. Just want to put that out there. So if that's something that you need, there's plenty of hotlines you can call and therapists and psychologists that specialize specifically in recovering from this narcissistic abuse. All right. How to respond and deal with hoovering. Hoovering can be complicated and painful. It's important to take care of yourself. You don't want to keep failing or falling back into the routine of emotional abuse or emotional manipulation. Maintaining emotional and physical distance is usually the best way to maintain your well-being in these circumstances. Remember that you can cut that person off for a specific reason or set of reasons. And try to remind yourself of this when you feel uncertain about how to respond to this hoovering. So true. And one of the things that I'm a big proponent of is just block them, cut them off like a bad habit and keep it that way. That's what I did. I'm done. I have not tried to contact this person since I overcame the hoovering process. It's over. It's done with. Done. Boom. Done. No more. Cut them off. So here are some ways to deal with this. Identify patterns. Over time, you may start to recognize hoovering patterns. Take notes of these as a way to prepare yourself for when a certain behavior may reemerge. And this is if you're still dealing with them, okay? But chances are, once you realize this, you'll cut them off. Prioritize your mental and emotional self-care. Self-care is an important part of maintaining your self-esteem and well-being. Make sure routinely engage in activities that help you feel confident, rejuvenated, or rested. So true. This is something that I had to do after I got over this relationship because, bro, there was so much that I wasn't doing for myself because I was engaged in this toxic relationship that I had to relearn how to take care of myself in so many different ways. It was insane.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? And I can admit this, that I'm still in that process. I'm still in that process of learning how to take care of myself emotionally and keeping myself engaged in the things that I love to do. That's why I told Brother Julian, I was, telling Brother Gadiwan not too long ago in a text, like, hey, he's like, you need to, when you go to Passover, you need to just take time to rest. And I was telling him, like, there's so much to do. Like, this is like, I need to do this. I need to be engaged in a lot of activities, in a lot of work, because I got to bring myself back up to where I was before I started dealing with this demon that sucked a lot of life out of me that is now coming back slowly but surely. So, like, the way I look at it is like, when it comes to Passover, I'm coming to Passover to serve. I'm not even coming to rest. I'm coming to serve. And I'm going to continue to serve because I'll get all the rest that I need when I leave this body, if I get any rest, and I really mean that because there's so much to do, and dealing with this type of abuse, it really takes a lot out of you, like I mentioned. But also when I was in my early 30s, I was feeling sorry for myself. I wasted a lot of time doing drugs, drinking, feeling sorry for myself, and just not really doing much of anything but just making money and coming home and wasting a lot of time. So this is all catch-up time for me. The next one is block them. Block them is huge because, as it says, as much as possible, try to limit contact. Block them on social media, email, and other accounts. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Block them. It works. Trust me, it works. Not having no contact. Don't allow them to have any way to reach you, because they will.
Yeah.
And for me, the good thing for me is that we lived in 2 different states. So that's a beautiful thing. Avoid bad mouthing them. Now, I guess to some degree, I'm not practicing that right now.
You think?
Because would this be considered bad mouthing her by just telling the truth?
Well, you could do it in such a way that, you don't imply that it was her. You can just say that, you've been through things like this and this is what happened.
Okay.
But, I'm not a time traveler, so I can't go back in time and, cut you off or anything. So,
no,
yeah.
I get it. But thanks for letting me know, because maybe I am to some degree. So I'll be more aware of that to not do that. But it is what it is. Like, I'm just talking about the experience. But I did do a lot of bad mouthing right after on my platform, and most of it, if not all of it, was true. It's just that I understand what it says when it says this, because let's read it. It says, aim to take the higher road and avoid criticizing the hooverer to other people. This perpetuates conflict, and you never know if someone might repeat what you said to them. Now, I get this, and this is very important. But for me, when I bring it onto the show, I don't care. I want them to hear it. I want everybody to hear it. I want everybody to get a great education from this and a great understanding. So I just had to put that out there, because this is not really bad mouthing. This is for educational purposes only. Because after we end this broadcast, guess what? Who I'm not going to be talking about is her to anybody. Yeah. Matter of fact, I have friends that like, yo, I'm so happy you don't talk about this chick no more. I'm so happy we can have a discussion that has nothing to do with her, because that's how it was during this hoovering process. That's all I would talk about. Okay, next one is respond as neutrally as possible. If you must engage, try to avoid arguing, becoming defensive, or proving your point. Even if it's tempting, this strategy only perpetuates more toxic communication.
Yeah.
Keep reminding yourself it's not your fault. Even if the other person continues to blame you for any problems with your relationship, that doesn't make their reality the truth. Ground yourself with your feelings and experiences to affirm your side of the story. That's very important. Don't ever try to take responsibility for something they're trying to tell you to take responsibility for. Just take responsibility that you made a mistake and it happens. You're a human being, people. That's what I had to do. I had to accept the fact that I dealt with this dude's platform for as long as I did, no matter how much he was corrupting the scriptures, no matter how much he was talking shit and leading people astray. Same thing with this woman. I had to just forgive myself that I made a mistake, that it happens. I didn't do anything wrong. I came in with those intentions of being a righteous man in her life, and that's exactly what I was, but that's not where she was at. And I just had to forgive myself that I made a mistake. That's it. Don't beat yourself up about something that you didn't do. You got taken advantage of. You got manipulated. Remember that.
Yeah. And if you do beat yourself up, you're going to end up making yourself more susceptible to the hoovering if it should ever happen. Right. You know what I mean? You're beating yourself up, and then they come in with the with the smearing your friends, the love bombing, the, all this other stuff, all the techniques. And guess what? You right back where you were before you even notice it. So cut the contact and move on with your life. Count it as a, mercy from the Most High. You still here, still living and breathing, and work on yourself. Make sure that your BS meter is more sensitive moving forward, and handle your business. Continue to grow.
Right. Last but not least, seek legal counsel. Now, this is if it's really serious, because some of these situations with narcissists, man, it can be deadly physically. It can be deadly on multiple physical levels where it can get very violent. If the matters are very serious too, especially when you're married and you're married legally on the contract under the United Serpents of America or wherever you get married at around the country or around the world, it gets really sticky. So definitely seek legal action. Definitely consult with an attorney. And most of the times you're going to have to, especially if you're going to have to divorce this person, you're going to have to seek legal action. It says if you fear your safety, you may need to set higher protective measures in place. What is that thing called when they put
order of protection,
all that. Contact your local law enforcement agencies to review your options. Contact your attorneys and all that, people, because this stuff can get really, really ugly. So now I'm just going to just give my testimony real quick about what happened to me. And it's going to be very brief because we covered some of it already. But what I will say is this, is that when I already figured out that she was a harlot and I was done with her, she had contacted me while she was at work and we were doing this FaceTime, bro. I never forget. We spoke for about 2 hours and she spoke for like a good hour and a half. And she gave me like this elaborate explanation as to how she was going to change. But more importantly, she explained to me all the things that she did wrong. And bro, she did it in such a concise manner that it was like she had bullet points for this. And she was like, I did this wrong in the beginning of the relationship. I should have been better at this. You're this, I'm that, and I'm not going to do this no more. And I realized this about this situation. And it was beautiful. And I'm over here closing my eyes, taking deep breaths, right? Because I know that this is all bullshit. I know it is. I know that this is not sincere. But bro, it came off like sincerity on steroids, man. It really did. It was it, and then she hit me with something else that I'm not gonna mention. It's in regards to abuse that she supposedly experienced as a child by one of her family members. And I didn't believe it. I just knew it was a lie. And it had to deal with her, I'm not going to even go there. I'm just going to say that she tried to keep piling on something to add on to this that I was just like, oh man, she's really trying. And I remember saying to her, bro, after it was all said and done, while she's doing this, right, we're looking at each other. So I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Wow, I'm so happy that you finally realized that. And this is how I'm talking to him. And she's like, so you could tell that her demeanor, she's starting to feel good now. She's like, in her mind, she's kind of like, oh, he's coming through now. Like, I got him.
I'm back.
Yeah, like she's like, so you can see like she's smiling and she's like, yeah, so I just want to move forward. Like, I love you so much. You my soulmate. I want to move forward, and help you grow. And I want you to help me grow. I never met no one like you and blah, blah, blah. So I'm engaged. I'm like, yeah, wow, that's amazing. Wow, really? Wow. I never heard you say that before. I'm so happy that you told me this. This is wonderful. Thank you. And then I hit her with the, where's it at here? I kind of hit her like while she's doing all of this, I'm kind of like, I'm playing the sad drum and all that, but this is what I hit her with one of these. And I'm going to tell you when I hit her with this is what I said. I said, wow, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. But that still doesn't change my decision on not wanting to be with you anymore moving forward. Bro, she threw the phone. She grabbed the phone and threw it.
Because it didn't work.
So I'm over here looking at a piece of a wall from somewhere in that office. Now, the funny part is that I still kept my composure. I was just like, I'm trying not to laugh, bro, because I was like, oh, I got her. Like, she thought she was getting somewhere. So when she threw the phone, I'm like, I'm saying her name and I'm like, are you there? Are you okay? Is everything all right? Hello? I'm good. I'm like, did you just throw your phone? She's like, no, not really. She's like, so what? So we're done? You're just going to give up? You're going to give up on this relationship? You're not going to try?
See, it's your fault. It's your fault now.
Yeah, it's my fault. That's what she would do to me. Like, you giving up, because I was going to supposedly give up several times. This is where I would give her the benefit of doubt. Cause I was going to break up with her before, like back in March, back in like February of last year, I was going to break up with her. Like, I didn't want to even deal with her, but gave her the benefit of doubt. So that was her come to line. So you're just going to give up? You're not going to try? And then I said, try what? I was like, I made a decision and I'm sticking to it. I was like, I told her straight up. I was like, first of all, I love the Most High more than I love you. I love myself more than I love you. So because I put the Most High first and because I put myself before you, there's nothing really else to say because I love the Most High's already put it on my spirit that this is not something that's going to help me grow to get closer to him. Secondly, because I do love myself, I'm not going to deal with you because you don't care about me. And if I continue to stay with you, then that means I don't love myself because I have no peace of mind when I'm dealing with you anymore. And furthermore, you cheated on me. You slept with another man or maybe other men while you were sleeping with me. And for me, that's a point of no return. It's one thing if you do bad things, maybe we can work something out. But when you sleeping with another man, and I say this to women too, if you have a man that cheats on you or brother, you have a woman that cheats on you, that's it. There's no need to go back. I don't understand why people go back to people that cheat on them. I don't get it. It's such a violation, bro.
Yeah.
It's such a violation, especially when you didn't do it, huh?
I said the hoovering works. That's why.
Yeah, the hoovering works. But it's like, you didn't do that to them and they did that to you. Listen, when you share your body with someone, that's a spiritual thing, man. It's a lot deeper than what people think it is. They think it's just busting nuts and orgasms and sharing saliva and sweat. Nah, it's a lot deeper than that. The Most High didn't put us here to be fruitful and multiply for no reason, but there's conditions to this.
Yeah.
There's rules to this, and it doesn't come from my rules or yours. It comes from the Most High. And when you are doing that to somebody that you supposedly be unified in a marriage, and you cheat on them with another person, man, that's a sin like no other, bro. Like, that's a really bad one, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't the commandments say do not commit adultery?
Yep.
Okay, so this is not coming from me. It's coming from the Most High. It's horrible, bro. And that's what I told her. I said, listen, you committed adultery more than once. I was like, what would be the point of having anything move forward between you and I? And of course, she kept saying, oh, so you're going to, so then she was like, she had to call me back. So I released an episode that I did with this other woman that has experienced narcissistic abuse. And she came onto my show and she heard it. And we talked about my situation. So she calls me up and she's like, you motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. Started screaming at me,
Wow.
So it went from being this kind, wonderful, warm-hearted person, and then she went back into this violent slandering. And I was like, after she was screaming for a while, I was just like, shut up. I remember screaming. I had to scream, bro. Like, I was so fed up. I was like, shut up. And then she actually shut up. She got quiet. And then I just told her, I was like, listen, I know who you are. I know those demons you got on you. I know this is who you are. This is what you're doing right now is who you truly are. I was like, I'm done with you. I was like, I want nothing to do with you. Get that through your head. I already know what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and who you're not doing it with, or whatever I said to her. And I was like, I'm done. And guess what happened? This was the icing on the cake, bro.
What?
She stood quiet for 3 minutes. And what I mean by that is that when I said what I said, she didn't say nothing for 3 minutes. And we're literally in silence for 3 minutes.
Yeah, she was running through all them plans, A through Z.
Quiet as a mouse. Nothing, bro. Not one word was uttered. So I'm here on my end. She's on her end. Nothing's being said for 3 minutes. This has never happened, bro. So after the 3 minutes was up, I was like, are you going to leave me alone? Are you going to stop contacting me? And she goes, why you keep saying that? I said, because you keep contacting me and I want nothing to do with you. And you haven't answered the question. And she never did. I kept asking, are you going to leave me alone? She's like, I'm not going to answer that. So after she stood quiet and I said what I said, it got quiet again. I said, listen, I'm going to take your silence as my answer to my question. So I said, goodbye. And I hung up. And I haven't spoken to her since then, bro, since that conversation. Not once. Nothing. No text, nothing. Wonderful. It's been wonderful ever since. Ever since that conversation, brother, I've slowly but surely got to where I'm at now. Everything just started coming together. Everything. My relationships with my friends, I apologized to my friends. They was like, bro, you don't need to apologize. It happened. I didn't even realize that you were being so distant. But if you think you was, that's fine. We was here for you regardless. You know, had a conversation with my family about the situation. My mother was happy I was done with her. You know, I spoke with brothers in the congregation that gave me counsel, you know, moved on. I did shows with Brother Aquarai, right? Like Faithful Friendship and the Mechanics of Sin and Prince of the Power of the Air. Those shows were very helpful. And little by little, getting counsel and growing within this congregation that I'm currently in with you, it's just been a wonderful experience. So all I can say is all praises to the Most High, bro. And I really do mean that. All praises to the Most High.
Yeah, giving all praises.
So, that's all I got, bro. Like, I could talk more about this hoovering process because there was a lot more to it, but I pretty much covered the meat and potatoes of it all. Is there anything else you want to add to this?
No, I think your testimony and the things that you went over was more than enough, you know, to help people understand that this is what they need to look out for in not only themselves but in others. You know, so that we can avoid these types of relationships and continue to grow and be better people, you know. So once again, giving all praises to the Most High through Christ.
Absolutely. And just on a side note, to make reference to this situation, let's bring out a scripture that Brother Lamar put in the chat room. All right, I'm going to read it. It's Ecclesiastes 3, verses 1-8. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Thank you, Brother Lamont, for that beautiful scripture to bring up in Ecclesiastes. All praises to the Most High in Christ. All praises to that Holy Spirit that fills us up through the life of Christ and by keeping those laws and commandments. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, let's play some music real quick. And then we'll be back here on the Network of Awareness with Brother Lamont and I. And this is called Hoovering. This is the Desperation Manipulation. Let's go.
Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Love thine own soul, and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time.
In the mix. In the mix. In the mix. tears dripping, fears gripping, yeah, shifting. You can hear the snipping from Persian. Messiah's near, gotta complete the mission. Repentance before the Almighty unleashes vengeance on this wicked dimension. Before I leave, gotta finish the mission. For my king, not gonna switch up positions. Cause Lord, I need you with me. I'm praying on my knees. Man, something ain't right with the throne. Tears dripping, Babylon's been on too long. Tears dripping, fathers walking out on their own. Tears dripping, Israel wanna come home. Depression rampant, brothers searching for answers, but the answer's not in them liquor cabinets or sticks of cancer. Philippians 4:13, read the chapter. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
When my tears fall, you never shut me out. You there to help me out. You never let me down. When my tears fall, you never shut me out. You there to help me out. You never let me down.
We came for our history. Every day we fighting for the victory. Oh, Father, lead us to the victory. Only you can free us from the enemy.
Hey, Father, give us the strength.
All the many, many tears.
And you, we put all our faith.
All the many, many tears.
Cause only you can erase.
All the many, many tears. All the many, many tears of
My
Israel.
tears be dripping and sinking in oceans. I'm feeling the heat cause I'm homesick. I gotta stay focused. My hope isn't floating above all the water that provoke my emotions. I'm rolling and soaking in waters of wholeness to keep me from sinking to the bottom of hopeless. I find it atrocious, but keep my devotion. Cause I'm not the only brother trying to stay up and hold it. I cry when they fold and I try for devoted soldiers of Judah all across narrow roads. And I know this might be my very last chance, so I'll say my piece for a very last dance. Yeah, my very last chance just to make a difference. For people who don't laugh just because you different. Saints hold fast cause it's been many years. And this is for family and all of your tears.
We paying for our history. Every day we fighting for the victory. Oh, Father, lead us to the victory. Only you can free us from the enemy.
Hey, Father, give us the strength.
All the many, many tears.
And you, we put all our faith.
All the many, many tears.
Cause only you can erase.
All the many, many tears. All the many, many tears of Israel.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Please just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo.
I don't know why you always have to be judging me, because I only believe in science, 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 science.
You can't win.
To trade all the day, from this day to that, for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take freedom.
My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like aura, the informational list. Thirst is real. You hear me?
You are
Thirst
now
is real.
tuned in to the network of awareness.
Better make sure you get hydrated right. Whoa! Now zoom. I'm a baller. Ball shot call. No wonder I go harder. Me to be her mom and a father. And a father. All I do is drink coconut water. I'm a baller. Ball shot call. These hands soft. No wonder I go harder. Me to be her mom and a father. And a father. All I do is drink coconut water. Every time I take a sip, I wanna move my hip, come on, move my shoulders and jig, then take another swig. I needed a refill, come on. So I headed to the kitchen. Then I gave the juice a boost, with some limes and lemons. Took a walk to the mall, coconut water in my hand. Everyone who seen me, they all yelled, "You're the man." Then a woman pulled up. She took my coconut water with the quickness. Took a sip, then she moaned, "It's delicious." Then she gave me the digits. I'm a baller. Ball shot call. Soft, no wonder I go harder. Me to be her mom and a father. All I do is drink coconut water. I'm a baller. Ball shot call. These hands soft, no wonder I go harder. Me to be her mom and a father. All I do is drink coconut water. I love coconut water. Do you love coconut water? Yes, I'm trying to get a sponsor. The way I roll, it would be an honor. I called little shorty who would put me over. She answered and said, "What's up?" I replied and said, "Nothing much. Coconut water in my cup." Then she said, "Come over. You can relax. Take a breather." I said, "I don't know. I just put another cup in the freezer." But I did, then I ran into her father. He looked at me like, "How you know my daughter?" Then he started to cry and said, "Thank God you love coconut water." I'm a baller. Ball shot call. Soft, no wonder I go harder. Me to be her mom and a father. All I do is drink coconut water. I'm a baller. Ball shot call. These hands soft, no wonder I go harder. Me to be her mom and a father. All I do is drink coconut water. Shake that, work that, better twerk that. Shake that, work that, better twerk that. Shake that, work that, better twerk that. I ain't talking about your ass, I'm talking about the water. I ain't talking about your ass, I'm talking about the water. I ain't talking about your ass, I'm talking about the water. I ain't talking about your ass, I'm talking about the water. Serve chill, don't spill, you gotta think smarter. Zone.
To you, I love you. Why do I feel this way? I'm talking everything, there's nothing I can say. You took my mind away, stuck in that drama phase. You don't acknowledge me, telling you honestly, yeah.
See, this how I felt since a youngin', before the kids and the thuggin'. women be frontin', they use us. You ain't got it, they on to the next who got it. Looking for profit is pitiful, but the sea full of suckers is plentiful. How much money you making is critical. These women deceiving is biblical. So how do I play my part as a man in the sea with the greatest sharks? I don't know, I adapt, hunting them like they hunting us. Live it up, always out for that bigger buck. Switch it up cause you never know, but you better know most of they lust for the devil, bro. Women's love can be bought with materials. Another one they won't play on the radio.
This how I felt since the youth. I love you. Why do I feel this way? I'm talking everything, there's nothing I can say. You took my mind away, stuck in that drama phase. You don't acknowledge me, telling you honestly. This how I felt since the youth. I feel this way, I'm talking everything, there's nothing I can say. You took my mind away, stuck in that drama phase. You don't acknowledge me, telling you honestly. Let's fall in love later, make this money and moves, build an empire, put this money to use. Yeah, there'll be wars, that's the moment of truth, but I'll ride or die to spend moments with you. There's nothing I wouldn't give, wouldn't do, girl, it's much higher. See, in my point of view, see, I burn for you, keep you warm in the nude. It's a sweet deal, you got nothing to lose, so go tell your friends that it's him again. Here with them gangsters and gentlemen. All other guys are irrelevant, locked in this room, and you don't even notice the elephant. Shit, girl, are you blind? Cause I'm right here. Never gone, never left, it is quite clear. Cause all eyes on you with a tight stare. This could be a dream come true or a nightmare. This how I felt since the youth. I love you. Why do I feel this way? I'm talking everything, there's nothing I can say. You took my mind away, stuck in that drama phase. You don't acknowledge me, telling you honestly. This how I felt since the youth. I love you. Why do I feel this way? I'm talking everything, there's nothing I can say. You took my mind away, stuck in that drama phase. You don't acknowledge me, telling you honestly, yeah.
King Solomon, however, loved many foreign women besides Pharaoh's daughters. Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Sidonians, and Hittites. They were from the nations about which the Lord had told the Israelites, you must not intermarry with them, because they will surely turn your hearts after their gods. Nevertheless, Solomon held fast to them in love.
Young or old, it don't matter. Pussy can make even a tough mind shatter. For real. Such a pity, but the truth is evident. Just look at all the evidence. Artificial intelligence got nothing on these fellas when they see a honey walking by. Who's a dime? She's got the whole nine, looking fine from left to right. But deep inside, you don't know she's a demon, looking to take complete control of you. Just look at her smile. Your game and your confidence ain't the key here. Satan knows who's awake and who's asleep still. Gotta be in the spirit at all times. Never drop them hands, keep that chin tucked, always stay sharp as a knife. Beauty can be a trap, an unescapable spider web. If you get wrapped in it, you're dead. Think with your brain, bruh, not with your nature. When the war falls, pussy's not gonna save ya.
He had 700 wives of royal birth and 300 concubines, and his wives led him astray. As Solomon grew old, his wives turned his heart after other gods, and his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his Yahweh, as the heart of David, his father, had been.
If it got the best of Solomon, what chance did you have? Made mistakes in the past, but I refuse to relax. If it wasn't for Yah, Ben would've stepped in the traps. I'm falling for a chick cause she got breasts in her ass. Looks are deceitful, but even more is the heart. The book's cover ain't enough to throw it in the cart. You gotta judge them by their labor, their behavior. If she hates the word of Yah, it's time to labor. Many men are slaves to the pussy. It's true. Do what I say and you may get a cookie. Got them dabbling in all kind of nonsense with mercy in these troubled times. Give him an inch and he's certainly gonna take a mile. Shouts out to the 1/3, don't let him take your crown. Walk with your head high, never down, stay spiritually bound.
He followed Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians, and Molech, the detestable god of the Ammonites. So Solomon did evil in the eyes of the Lord. He did not follow the Lord completely, as David his father had done. On a hill east of Jerusalem, Solomon built a high place for Chemosh, the detestable god of Moab, and for Molech, the detestable god of the Ammonites. He did the same for all his foreign wives, who burnt incense and offered sacrifices to their gods. The Lord became angry with Solomon, because his heart had turned away from the Lord, Yahweh of Israel, who had appeared to him twice.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Yeah. See what you did to me, made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind, got no more space in my life. See what you did to me, made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind, no more space in my life. Picture me with the crib by the beach, beautiful wife by me. With the sun living out our dreams when they all doubted, said watch me. Got to work with a smirk, kept stacking. Brick by brick, I built this shit, stay consistent, committed and never quit, and kept my distance 6 feet from them niggas. Faking the folded, but I just kept going crazy. The ones supposed to be closest be the ones gossiping behind your back, praying for you to fall, casting demons on you. But Yahweh with me, so I stand tall. Only time you see me fall on my knees to pray. I want you to see all the shit that you did to me. I want you to see me taking off now. See what you did to me, made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind, got no more space in my life. See what you did to me, made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind, no more space in my life. See what you did to me, made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind, got no more space in my life. See what you did to me, made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind, no more space in my life.
When the light has faded and darkness is abroad, the light is only dim because the darkness teaches us lessons that need to be learned in order for one to move forward. Embrace the darkness, for the darkness is your friend. So there is no end, it's only an illusion to what has been. Follow the light and let the spirit embark on a flight to a destination unknown, but to a place where love is the building blocks that call this place home. We are always accompanied on this journey, but still feel alone. It is never the same journey or experience that is ever shown. It is your imagination that awakens a passion that will weather the storm, because it is the pure compassion in the soul that is vigorous and strong. One with eternity, so let's be connected to the positive stream that allows us to fulfill our infinite destiny, most definitely. Let's strive to be the best people we can be with a power that is humanly new to see. So mistaken dismay can lead us astray, so let us stay, for it is our free will that allows us to make a choice. So I choose Yahweh with no delay.
I done made mistakes on purpose to divide the word from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been a lot before churches. Cause Yah is person on person. So I'm worried about complicated versions. Cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching. Networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain. With a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose. To lyrically service the mental malnourishment until I perish.
Yahweh's gonna save the awakened, then take him to an ageless haven. Patient, I can't stray away, gotta keep obliterating the pavement. Still remember that day on the phone, Mark, he said, yo, don't you take your foot off the gas. Always something to give y'all praises.
We're the dark oasis, countless cases, a peak of faithless. I'ma need the patience to beat them chases. We seek his graces for true salvation. We keep on praising, we go on blazing these revelations. Cease to hate, no altercations. Good vibrations, we back to basics to build foundations. Now defeated Satan. I done made mistakes on purpose to divide the word from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been a lot before churches. Cause Yah is person on person. So I'm worried about complicated versions. Cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching. Networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain. With a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose. To lyrically service the mental malnourishment until I perish. People pursuing acts of violence. Third persistent act of defiance. Freely forming a righteous alliance. Truly against the science appliance. On a mission with wisdom and guidance. Steady defeating the ignorant science. Sealy convicted and non-compliant. Spiritual wars that move in silence.
Let's talk about what matters. Drop the vanity. Folks out here losing their sanity. Kids popping off, lost in fantasies. People grieving over loss of family. The evil that be with the power. Turning the people with credence to cowards. Seeking to seize believers with vows. Man, even Stevie can see that it's foul.
I done made mistakes on purpose to divide the word from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been a lot before churches. Cause Yah is person on person. So I'm worried about complicated versions. Cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching. Networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain. With a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose. To lyrically service the mental malnourishment until I perish.
Depression gone with every song. Music led by another echelon.
To get you strong, keep pressing on. Long after we dead and gone.
From dusk till dawn, we're righteously armed with spiritual lessons from Yah.
We where we belong, we keeping on. The righteous with third of Zion.
Records embellished with heavily eloquence.
Elohim's presence presently evident.
Intricate elements, infinite intelligence.
Spiritual specimens lyrically resonant.
The gift was inheritance, smaller percentages.
Carefully measured and meant to be shared.
With the message projected, cemented, embedded.
The sensible question is, what will you give from it? I done made mistakes on purpose to divide the word from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been a lot before churches. Cause Yah is person on person. So I'm worried about complicated versions. Cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching. Networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain. With a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose. To lyrically service the mental malnourishment until I perish.
All right. Shout outs to all the brothers that put out that spiritual fire music in fellowship. And I hope that you enjoyed this episode from the Narcissism Series on the Network of Awareness called Hoovering, Desperation Manipulation. And, I want to thank Brother Ahban for coming on to the show. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Can't wait to do this finale tomorrow on gaslighting to really sum it all up and close it out for the Narcissism Series this week. Any last final comments, brother, that you want to make for this episode 61 of season 5?
No, just want to give, once again, all praises to the Most High through Christ. And I hope everybody out there have a blessed day.
So, brothers and sisters, don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. So light up that tunnel that you're in and find your way through the darkness that you're in to that everlasting light, which is the Most High in Christ. The Heavenly Father is the only answer. And through his Son, he gave us the example as how we should be and how we should live so that we can gain and reach salvation. When you live in the present, there's always an opportunity for a new beginning, brothers and sisters. So be present and start a new beginning on your life and do away with these toxic relationships and seek Christ. Seek the Messiah. Seek that truth that's within you. And that's how you reach the kingdom of heaven. So with that being said, peace, love, and light, brothers and sisters. All praises to the Most High. Shalom.
Shalom.